Hello and welcome to a RAH Band update. As a lot of you may know, the RAH Band are playing at the Jazz Café in London on June the 11th, on Saturday, June the 11th. This gig was meant to happen a few years ago, but because of a certain C word, the performance and the whole production had to be delayed. But now things are on the road again, and the gig itself is being MD'd by Dan Hewson, and Dan is son of Richard Hewson. And I've got him on here. We're going to have a little chat together and talk about the gig, about how it came about, and the process of turning what was a production outfit into a gigging band. So yeah. Dan, welcome.
Hello. Thanks, Aaron. Good to be here.
So how did this all happen for you? Obviously, you've lived with the RAH Band for many years with your dad. So how did you get involved with the live performance?
Right. Well, yes, I did indeed. Yeah, I lived with it. I grew up with it. And it all started with a conversation one winter's evening with my dad. And we were sat around the living room. And the idea came up about why not let's do a show. Let's do a live show of this. Because as you said, yeah, it's been a production unit. And that was about 3 years ago, I think it was. Well, something like that. And it seemed like a big challenge and obviously a very daunting one, but one that I think we just really felt it was time to get his music out there, my parents' music out there, and just get it heard in a live context. So that's really the background. And then, yeah, as you said, we had a 2-year hiatus, and but that was possibly a good thing because we allowed the project to sort of develop, mature a bit. And now here we find ourselves 2.5 weeks away from the show itself, the debut show, and all very exciting. It's been a lot of work, and I'm very excited. We're all very excited.
So what were the first stages, Dan? I mean, it's okay just to sit down and talk about this, but where do you start?
Right. Well, you start, as you said, you start with the conversation, and then we start planning it out, choosing a set list, because there are a lot of RAH Band songs. I don't know how many exactly, but we whittled it down to about 17, 18 of the favorites, or the ones we thought would certainly work best live. Then we had to go about choosing the musicians. Well, firstly, we decided on what the band was going to be, because this is a very synth-heavy project, and so we had to see how is that going to work in a live context. So yeah, we decided on about an 8 or 9 piece band. Choose the musicians. Obviously, Aaron, you helped very much with the conversations with the venue. So we had a great venue lined up. Yeah, that's essentially been it, really.
So as far as trying to recreate the RAH Band sound, did you go for? Did you try and think about musicians who could recreate it verbatim, or did you want to put a more of a 2022 spin on it?
Interesting. A little bit of both, I think. I think how we've worked. Well, the choice of musicians was really essentially. I do a lot of live gigs, so I had quite a good pool of very professional and trusted musicians who I knew would just do a great job. Essentially what we've done is give them the material. Well, I sat down and I scored it all out, but I was reasonably true to the records. So that's been the starting point, really. It's been the idea is that we, in an ideal world, we will recreate the tracks as they are, but inevitably the character of the musicians is going to shine through, and you're going to see rather you're going to hear that they're going to add a little bit of their own character to it. But so to cut a long story short, it's a little bit of both in answer to your question.
Excellent. And as far as vocals go, they are key. There are a lot of heavy duty fans out there who know probably more about the RAH Band than both yourself and Richard. So as far as vocals go, that's really important, isn't it? You've got to choose vocals that really do represent the RAH Band sound. How difficult was that to find?
Well, very difficult. I mean, my mum, is a fabulous singer. I mean, she doesn't sing as she used to, but I say she still is a fabulous singer. And I mean, those vocal performances, just listening back now, I mean, they're extraordinary. So I think it was quite a tall order for us to find someone who would follow in her footsteps, as it were. What we opted for were not one, but 3 lead vocalists. And also a special guest appearance by another singer who's been involved with a more recent RAH Band song. But we decided to choose 3 singers that I've worked with over the last few years. I know they're going to do it justice. I don't think they are the same character as my mum's voice, but I think they're going to bring their own spirit and their own joy for the music to it. So I think you're going to hear the vocals will sound a little different, but listening, I mean, we've already had a number of rehearsals. So in fact, we're having a rehearsal with the vocalists tonight. And I'm pretty confident that, I hope that the fans will enjoy our 2022 version of the RAH Band.
That's a good answer, Dan. That's good. And I think you're right. I think they're going to appreciate what you've done, and the fact that it's impossible to recreate the sound completely. But they've never actually seen a live performance. So I think this is going to be an experience for everyone. And as far as the fans go, are you quite surprised about how through the generations the RAH Band has stood up to the test of time and is going beyond that? I mean, you're obviously aware of the fact that Messages from the Stars has become a viral hit in America over the last couple of months. And I've got experience of it, really. My son came home and he said, he listened to this song, and he had it on TikTok. And he said, my friend shared this with me. And I said, that's Messages from the Stars. I said, did you know how long ago that was produced? And he couldn't believe it was nearly 40 years ago. Probably more, actually. And so you must be quite surprised the fact these songs have stayed and are still in people's psyche.
Absolutely. I think it's extraordinary and it's brilliant. And I have to say it's a testament. They are great songs. I mean, they really, they're really strong songs written by a musician who understands music and knows how to construct, a song that will stand the test of time. In fact, it's funny you say that because it popped up on my playlist today. I was just playing just some random playlist, and on comes Messages from the Stars. So it's obviously circulating well. Yeah, it's extraordinary when I see what the fans are, how knowledgeable, as you said, the fans are, and how much they seem to be, supportive of it still after all these years. I mean, a lot of them. Many musicians that I work with, when I tell them about the project, they say, gosh, I remember that when I was a teenager, I was listening to that, I was listening in the clubs. I had a friend telling me he was teaching he had a couple of friends, lady friends, he was trying to teach them to dance when he was a teenager. And he, he was, I think it was it Clouds Across the Moon? I think it possibly was. And they were doing a dance routine to it. So it really has, I think it's really touched a lot of people's lives. And
do you think the fact you've just touched on the fact that the songs are well constructed, they're a lot of them based in the world of jazz chords, jazz progressions. Do you think the fact that they were constructed in such a theoretical way, they've stood the test of time?
Yeah, I think so. I think the structure and the thought that went into making those songs means that they're not just reliant on trends, current passing fashions for certain types of music or certain types of beat or what have you. I think they're songs that will work. I mean, as I said before, we're being quite true to the originals, but I think you could, and the fact there have been a lot of cover versions of these songs, and I think you could take these songs and do completely different versions, and I think they'd still be there, the songs. So yeah, I think, as you said, I think it's the structures and the way they're constructed is very strong.
Yeah, I think again, the fact your dad has spent a lot of time on these in the early years, and
Mm-hmm.
because of the work he's done with orchestration and with strings, it really does shine through, doesn't it? And it's
Absolutely.
also interesting. A lot of the mixes, especially in the last few months, people have sped the songs up and created higher speed versions, especially of messages. And
Right.
I don't know if you've heard them, but
Haven't actually.
it's
No.
just puts it into a completely different zone, and you listen to it. And when
Yeah.
you hear the original, it's like, crikey, I've forgotten that was actually that speed. And that's what they seem to be doing on TikTok. There's a little facility there
Really?
to speed up the
Right.
song. And
Right. Right.
because of that, people have done remixes and released them, and getting a lot of hits on them, a lot of streams.
Right. What? That's a great idea. And songs have sped up, more recently as time has moved on. And that sounds like a great
Yeah,
idea.
but
Why not?
don't forget, Dan, if that is the case, it means you've only got 90 minutes. So this gig better not kind of go
Speed
to
up
about
too much.
30.
No, indeed. Yeah, I think we'll stick to the BPMs. I've got a list of the BPMs, so we'll make sure we don't drink too much coffee before and keep the tempos steady.
Indeed. Well, it's been great talking, Dan. And as far as
Likewise.
the future of the RAH Band, I think it's in good hands with you, because we don't really know where this is going to take us as far as the live performance. This is a kind of a really nice showcase,
Yes.
which
Yes.
I think will take it. It will go into the direction that it's taken before with the RAH Band. You just don't know where it's going to end up. As long as the music's good and you're true to it, I think it'll end up and turn into something that it will be.
That is great to hear, and it's fabulous that we've got such a great team all supporting this, and I'm very excited. I know we're all very excited about what doors this might open, and I think that having taken this rather large step into bringing it live, who knows what could come from this? So
Exactly.
yeah, very
Well,
exciting.
something that has come from it recently is we've been approached by Cherry Red Records to do a series of box sets. The first series is a collection of the first 5 albums of the RAH Band, CD box sets, which are hopefully going to be released in August. It's taken Cherry Red quite a long time to get everything correct, because there's various mixes that had to be sourced, lots of information that needed to be sourced. But after that, after the first series of 5, there's going to be another series of 5, which will be remixes which had never been released, and hidden tracks that have never been released.
Wonderful.
So the true RAH Band diehard fan is going to have a good year, I think.
I think absolutely, yeah. And there are so many. There's so many tracks out there. Yeah, I think this is this Cherry Red project is very exciting, and I think to have it all in one place under one label and all accessible and viewable, listenable rather, I think it's going to be quite a thing, quite an achievement, I think, and amazing bit of work that everyone's been putting into that.
Indeed. Well, we'll end it there, Dan. I just want to say that if anyone wants to come down to the Jazz Cafe on Saturday, June the 11th, it's an evening gig, and proceedings will, I'd imagine, get there for 8 o'clock, put it that way. Then you won't miss out. So thanks a lot, Dan, and good luck.
Thanks, Aaron. Great talking to you.